Good afternoon, everyone. Today we shall start the third module. In the third module, we have beams as well as torsion of the shafts. So in the previous lecture, we have completed the beam chapter, and in the sub chapter, in the same module, we have torsion of the shafts. So in this particular chapter, we have one derivation, and based on the derivation we have 3 to 4 numericals. So this is a small chapter. I think you can expect 10 to 15 marks in this particular chapter. Okay, so let us start the torsion of the shafts. So in this chapter, as I said, we have a derivation, that is a finite element formulation of the shafts. So we need to derive the stiffness matrix for the shaft element. Okay, so let us consider a rod of cross sectional area A which is subjected to this twisting moment T. Okay, let us consider a rod of cross sectional area A. It has a diameter D and G is nothing but a modulus of rigidity, and it is subjected to twisting moment T. Okay, and here gamma max is nothing but the maximum shear strain. So what actually happening in the figure is that when we apply torque on a shaft, then there will be a twisting moment. Due to this twisting moment, there will be angular deflection takes place. So in the previous lectures, we have seen that we used to write the force and x values, right? F and x values. So similarly here we have written t and theta values. So earlier f and x, because under the application of the force there will be a linear displacement would have taken place. But now in this case we are applying a twisting moment, that is torque. So if we apply a twisting moment t, there will be angular deflection takes place, that is denoted by theta. That's why let us consider two theta values, that is at both the ends, one t at both the ends, that is t1 at the left hand side and t2 at the right hand side. So here notation is going to be a very important key when you are solving the numericals. That is, when we apply twisting moment in the clockwise direction, we need to take that moment is negative. Similarly, as we have seen in the beams, right? So now vice versa, that is anti-clockwise twisting moment is taken as a positive. So now let us let this rod is modeled as 1D bar element having two nodes as shown in this figure. Okay, so the same figure we have modeled as a 1D bar element. Okay, we used to make it in the shaft also, stepped bars, beams, right? 1D bar we have to model, that is called as FE model. Now let T1 and T2 are the end torques at node 1 and node 2 respectively. Similarly, due to this T1 and T2, there will be a theta 1, theta 2, that is twisting, that is angular deflection you can say. Theta 1 and theta 2 will be generated at node 1 and node 2 respectively, right? Let us assume that linear angle of twist variation along the x direction. That is, the meaning of linear angle of twist is that due to twisting moment there will be deflection takes place. That should be in a linear form, right? So that's why we have written a linear equation of the order 1, right? Theta is equal to a1 plus a2x. Let it be equation number 1. Now as we know that the relation between shear strain and angle of twist can be obtained by considering the torsional deformation of the bar segment shown above. See, from this figure what we can observe is that there will be a relation between this shear strain and this angular deflection. See, there will be angular deflection theta, right? That is the arc formed by this AB, that is OAB. This arc is nothing but a angular deflection d theta. So that can be written as what we can write for the strain. Strain is nothing but change in length by original length. So change in length can be written as the strain into original length. See, what I am telling you is shear strain or simply strain is nothing but change in length divided by the original length. If we want change in length, what we need to do is multiply strain into original length. So the same thing we have written here. Arc AB is what? This is change in length. Because of the twisting moment, there is a deflection takes place. That is what theta is, right? So this arc AB is nothing but this gamma max into dx, where this dx is nothing but original length. Original length into strain will give you change in length. Is it right? Isn't it? Okay. So why then what is this dx? See, dx is nothing but this length from the two centers, right? Suppose if this is the x1 distance from some left hand reference point, and this is at a distance of x2 from the left hand some datum point, then that distance x2 minus this x1, if we remove, we will get only the distance between the two centers, that is x2 minus x1, that is nothing but length of that bar element. Fine. So that's why dx is nothing but original length. Then again arc AB from the figure can be written as this capital R into d theta. See, this OAB is nothing but an arc, isn't it? This arc can be written as this R. This is the external radius R and small radius is this. So arc AB can be written as R into this much is what? D theta, right? That's why R into d theta is nothing but arc AB. Clear? So now as this is equal to this and this equation is equal to this, so from these two relations we can write the maximum shear strain is nothing but R into d theta by dx. Just take this dx this side. It is R d theta by dx. Similarly, at any radial position R from the similar triangles OAB and OC. See, here this is the OAB and OCD. So these two triangles are similar triangles. Hence, this was capital R and this can be written as small r, this OC. OC is nothing but small r, see, radius, internal radius. Again we can write, in place of capital R, we can write small r also. Because any radial position we can write. Same value we can write it for any radial position R. So this capital R now becomes small r, and what is dx? It is length of the element, and d theta is nothing but difference between the two angle of twist values, that is theta 2 minus theta 1. Let it be equation number 2. Okay, let us coming to this page. So here also from the linear elastic isotropic materials, the relation between shear stress and shear strain is given by what is modulus of rigidity? It is the ratio of shear stress by shear strain. So that's why shear stress by shear strain is nothing but modulus of rigidity. Let it be equation number 2. Again from equation number 2 we can write shear stress equal to G into gamma. So that I have written here. Okay, I hope up to this it is clear. Fine. Also from the torque equation, generalized torque equation, from the strength of materials, we know that T by J is equal to tau by R is equal to G theta by L. That is not necessary here. T by J equal to tau by R. We have a generalized torque equation. So from this I can find T, that is the twisting moment applied on this shaft, that is just take J this side, it is J into tau by capital R. Let it be equation number 3, where this J is nothing but a polar moment of inertia, tau is the shear stress, and R is the external radius of the shaft. Now let us substitute this equation number 1, sorry, sorry, this two times I have written the equation number 2. So I think this equation is not necessary. So make it as equation number 1. This as equation number 1, and let it be this is equation 2 and equation 3. Okay, got it? So make this as equation number 1. Sorry for the mistake. And here equation 2 and equation 3. Now just substitute equation 1 and 2 in equation number 3. So we need to substitute this equation and this equation in this third equation. So what this t becomes? Now t is equal to this j by r, let it be as it is, j by r as it is I have written. And what this tau can be replaced by this equation. Tau can be replaced by this equation, g into gamma. Again gamma, what is gamma? Gamma from this equation. That's why we are substituting equation 1 and 2 in equation 3. That's why j by r, tau is nothing but g and g as it is, where gamma is nothing but this r by l theta 2 minus theta 1. We can write small r as well as capital R. Both is applicable. G r by l theta 2 minus theta 1. So now this r and r get cancelled. We are left with g j by l theta 2 minus theta 1. Again from the figure at node 1, we have a clockwise twisting moment, right? So clockwise is taken as, see here, clockwise is taken as negative. So now this t becomes minus t1. Remember very carefully, this is going to be the very important again when you are solving the numericals, right? So t becomes minus t1 because of the clockwise torque is applied at the node 1. If it is applied at if the same torque is applied in the reverse direction, we would have taken this as a plus t1, right? But as of now it is clockwise, hence we are taking it as a negative sign. So t1 equal to g j by l. So here I have not written minus because directly this value I have reversed. Instead of writing theta 2 minus theta 1, I have written theta 1 minus theta 2. Now it is over. Let it be this as equation number 4. Now again from the figure at node 2, we have t is equal to t2. See here, at node 2 we have a anti-clockwise, that is counterclockwise torque. See here, it is taken as positive. So t is equal to t2. So don't make any changes here. Same thing you have to write, that is theta 2 minus theta 1. t2 is plus g j by l theta 2 minus theta 1. Let it be equation number 5. Now we can write equation number 4 and 5 in a matrix form, that is here. T1, T2 I have taken in the left hand side, G, J by L as it is because it is constant in both the equations, and here 1 minus 1 minus 1 1 theta 1 theta 2 I can write, because if you multiply again it is 1 into theta 1, see theta 1, minus 1 into theta 2, it is minus theta 2. Similarly here minus theta 1 plus theta 2, see minus theta 1 plus theta 2 is there. So we can write in this form. So now t is equal to, this entire value is nothing but k and theta as it is. So now this is like a force into kq is equal to f. Earlier in the bar problems we had written k into q is equal to f. The same way here k into theta is equal to t, where k is the stiffness matrix for the torsion of the bar element, right? So that is this value. So this is going to be very important. Okay, try to remember this. And one more thing is, to find the shear stress, we had a formula gr by l minus 1 1 theta 1 theta 2. Earlier in the bar problems, stepped bar, tapered bar, we had taken a stress value sigma is equal to E by L minus 1 1 x1 x2 we had written. In the same way here shear stress equal to gr by L minus 1 plus 1 theta 1 theta 2. So these two are very very important, and in addition to this, this notation is going to be very important. If you remember this, we can easily solve the numericals. So in the next lecturer I will come up with the numericals. Thank you.